umpire's dressing room, too. Didn't seem to work.
You got to pick your spots.
I know.
They don't want to do it yet. Oh, that's a fair ball. There's a spot pick. Wallback will score. This Arcinia's into second with a double, and the Angels have hung a 3 spot on Andy Pettit. Single, double, triple, double this inning.
Well, major league hitters are supposed to make adjustments as the game goes along, and Pettit had one pattern that he was staying in. That's hard sliders and cut fastballs inside, and he tried it again here with Arcina, and he pulls it. See the target inside, slider, it did not get in, and he pulls it down the third baseline. Arcina drives in the run, he ends up at second base. But hitters are supposed to make adjustments. That's why pitchers have to change their pattern the second time through the order.
It'll bring up Darren Erstad, and here's a young man who you signed up for some years after a nice season with the Angels last year.
Absolutely.
Been a great kid. Went back to North Dakota to help during the floods last year, the horrible floods up there with the Mississippi flooded, and felt that was what he was supposed to do, and did so.
This whole team is like really come together in that way. They're really positive people. They really enjoy what they're doing. Feels like a new world out there for me.
Who was your team growing up, the Yankees?
Actually, the Giants. When I was 16, I didn't miss one game. My parents almost killed me.
Polo Ground Giants, obviously.
Right.
So was Willie Mays your guy, or are there others?
Yeah. I mean, he was
Willie Mays.
He was Willie Mays.
It's kind of the reason I'm a Giant fan, too. I didn't see him much in the Polo Grounds. I'm just a smidge behind him.
And he had a long center field to go in that stadium.
Ground ball through the right side. Arcinia will come around to score. 4-0 Angels.
This was the right inning for
Yeah, let it be noted that as soon as you've sat down, Joe, I mean, this is like automatic. See, some things are scripted, right?
Pixie dust.
When the ball stops out there, they don't have any chance. Here we get a look at Arcina come around third base. He's going to be able to score easily because the ball just stops out there. Plus, it's wet. They're not going to have a play on him. And Arcina scores the 4th run of the inning for the Angels.
Mel Stottlemyre, the pitching coach, out on the mound to talk to Pettit, and some quick action in the bullpen. That's Darren Holmes. Colorado Rockies, came over from Colorado, and he's a long relief from the right-hand side. Tony Cloninger, the bullpen coach. Joe Torre made the call to get up quickly. Back to the Polo Grounds, what do you remember in addition to the long center field? Do you have vivid memories of the game or the field or
skipping school?
Right.
I was going to ask you, how did you not miss a game during the baseball season and didn't go to school, huh?
I skipped my cousin's wedding. I had a lot of trouble for this.
I was 16 years old. I'd have to remember that.
For the young fans, and obviously you don't have to be even that young to not remember the Polo Grounds. If I remember correctly, it was 256 to right field, 271 to left, and 475 to center field. So
I thought it was 476. No, I'm kidding.
You out there and measure? Well, I could be wrong.
The fact that you know that.
No, I just remember that because 251. I mean 256 down the line, and right, it's a joke. But it was really built polo and football. It was a real live oval.
I don't remember my address. I don't know how you remember that from
but I can't remember
40 years ago.
I don't remember what I had for lunch. I think you file these things in your mind when you're young, and they just stay there. Things like your neighbor's name or what you had for lunch. I miss those.
Right.
And what's Pettit got to do here, Joe? I mean, he's.
Well, I think what happens when Stottlemyre went out, he wanted to tell him you got to get the ball out of the middle of the plate and get the ball down. He started getting the slider and the cut fastball in the middle of the plate and up, and the hitters were tattooing it. So he's got to get the ball down. Up again.
Oh, but Tino grabs it. Martinez snares the Edmonds liner, and Erstad is doubled up. Well, Mr. Eisner, you good luck charm. If the Yankees get back in this, you'll have to come back, right?
I'll be back at least tomorrow night, Phil.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for letting us be a part of opening festivities.
Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it.
4-0 Angels after 4.
I dated Theodore Roosevelt.
I babysat Bob Dole, okay?
Why are people suddenly pretending to be older? Right now at Pearl, your age is your discount. Save 1 to 100% on new frames depending on your age. What are you waiting for? Put your pearls on.
Yeah.
Use what God gave you.
Where y'all dancing?
The Players Club.
Diamond just got a new job.
What's up, new booty?
And so much more.
I'm sick of this place.
From the producers of Friday.
Where you taking my little girl tonight?
Just to the movies and then right back home, Mr. Armstrong.
The Players Club.
Have anybody ever told you look just like the father from Good Times?
Rated R. Starts Wednesday, April 8th.
Jockey. Great underwear.
Let them know you're jockey.
Flowers are nice. How about a big box of chocolates?
Quit. Dump her. Go fishing.
At Plank Road, we don't do everything well. Fortunately, beer is something we do well. Thanks and enjoy.
For 3 days only, if it's Craftsman, it's on sale. There's over 4,000 Craftsman hand and power tools on sale. Only Craftsman could build a sale like this, because Craftsman makes anything possible.
Top of the 5th inning, and the Angels lead the Yankees 4-0. Now, I mean, I know Disney scripts a lot of things, Joe, but the boss sits down, they get 4 runs. I mean, they ripped the ball, too, off Pettit. Those were not any cheapies, and Edmonds may have hit the ball harder than anybody else.
Well, one of the things we were talking about last night is when pitchers come out of the spring training, they'll have their stuff, but sometimes they'll lose their rhythm and make a lot of mistakes, hit the ball up in the strike zone, and that's basically what happened to Pettit. He started getting a few balls in the middle of the plate and up a little bit. But that comes from, you know, not being as sharp this early as you would like to be. You're going to make a lot of good quality pitches as he did the first couple of innings, but it catches up with you and you're going to make a few mistakes.
Gene Monahan, was that over there? No, that wasn't Gino. Gene getting the cleats clean. The Angels cleaned him in the 4th inning. So now the Yankees have to play catch-up ball. The bottom of the lineup: Brocious, Girardi, and Knobloch. Moving around from 8-9 to 1. Oh, we almost got that one too. And you were not. You're right. You were not moving. I was ready for the carry.
Well, I hope you make the catch. I'm just going to get out of the way. I played long enough to know that the balls hurt if you do not have a glove on.
Yes. How long did you play with your favorite glove? How long did you? I mean, they wore out eventually, but how long?
Well, it took me probably 6 or 7 years to find one I liked.
Then once you found it, how long did you play with one?
7, 8 years.
Did you?
Yeah.
Cincinnati years?
I only had 2 after I finally found one that I liked. I had 2 gloves after that.
Long run for Salmon. Fittingly, Salmon through the water makes the catch. And Brocious is gone. Well, the difference of Finley and Pettit, they both looked okay, but here's Finley.
Well, Finley has 6 strikeouts, and all of them have been out of the strike zone. As you see, the hitters chasing pitches down and out of the strike zone. So So that's why he has been so successful so far in this ball game. Every one of those pitches, you could see all were below the knees, and a couple of them even bouncing. So he has had the hitters off balance the entire ball game.
Joe, isn't this an important inning for a pitcher who has staked to a good lead to just come out and retire the other side and just keep it going? I mean, isn't this very important for Finley right here?
Well, normally in a close ball game it is, but Finley has been in pretty good control the entire ball game. He's been throwing strikes. He had one shaky inning, but other than that, he has been in complete control. So I don't think it's anything special for him, but normally it is. If you're playing a tight ball game and a guy goes out, your team scores your couple of runs, you need to shut the other team down. That's very important. But I think Finley has been throwing the ball pretty well, and he doesn't have to do anything different. And I don't think he feels that he does.
Well, last night, for example, Randy Johnson had a 9-3 lead, and Cleveland got 3 to make it 9-6, and it was a game.
So it was more important last night, to be honest with you, because there were runs scored already, and the other team was, had proven that they could score some runs off of them. The Yankees have not scored a run off Finley, so at this point, he doesn't think they will score a run.
See that game a little bit last night in Arizona. Again, you're going to report to me on that ballpark afterwards. And they had the little dirt trail from the mound to the plate, which was really like the old days. The only reason I bring this up, and I'm sure our director Jimmy Moore will zero in on this, it's almost like someone look at the steps from the plate to the mound here. It's almost like someone didn't clean their shoes when they walked on the carpet, Joe. Look at it out there. It was Girardi kind of, as Joe just got a base on balls, but he had to zero in here from the plate to the mound, and you can't quite see it yet, but look at it. It's like dirty shoes on the carpet. What would Mr. Eisner say to that? You dirtied my carpet here. No, it just looks funny. It's just odd. I haven't seen footprints. It looks like Sasquatch was out there on its way to the mound. Something new here at Edison International Field. You can tell who was catching by the size of the footprints. All right, the Yankees want to get something going. They got a runner at first in the top of the order. Knobloch, then Jeter. 6 strikeouts, just 2 hits allowed by Chuck Huckleberry Finley thus far. And Knobloch looking for his first hit as a Yankee. Ran it a second, walk. High for a ball. As a rookie, he played on the Minnesota Twins team in 1991 that won it all.
And he was a teammate of Chili Davis. He says that Chili taught him a lot about his approach to hitting. And you see Finley trying to dig himself a hole, because you do not want to put a couple of runners on here with the power coming up in this lineup.
Terry Collins, you don't think so. You don't think of him as I don't really know him very well, but he's managed 4 years in the majors. He had a winning record every year. Astros, then here last year. And now with 3-0 to Knobloch, he didn't like what he's seen from his starter right now. People don't know that. 4 years in the majors, 4 winning records. That's not bad. Start stringing those together, you can be Walt Alston. He had a 1-year contract for 24 years. There's a strike from Finley to Knobloch. Joe Girardi, who runs well for a catcher at first base. Up top, so now Finley has walked a pair of Yankees, and they're 2 on for Derek Jeter. Finley had 3 walks in the first 2 innings. That's his first couple since. So now 6 Ks, 5 base on balls. And a little conference on the mound. Marcel Latchman out there quickly. Finley's, first pitching coach here, then manager, then now pitching coach again. One of the nice gentlemen in this game. Marcel Latchman, brother of Rene Latchman. Both are great. Marcel much less vociferous than Rene, but two wonderful people. I tell you, Finley will give you hours on Marcel Latchman. We had that staff here, remember, when the early 90s? Of course, Mark Langston, Jim Abbott, Finley.
Their coaching staff is really a good makeup for young players. They have a couple of fiery type guys, Larry Bohr and Collins, and they have some quiet leaders like Latchman and Rod Carew. So it's kind of a perfect blend for a coaching staff.
That's a good point. Derek Jeter struck out, fly ball to center field. Be a good time for the Yankees for him to get a hit. And he reached on that one. Good pitch by Finley. Looked like it was out of the strike zone. Derek lunged at it, 0-2.
Finley's mixing his speeds well. They're not able to hit him as long as he's able to throw strikes. You see that pitch move down and away. It looked like it might have been a little splitter.
Ball back, making sure the ball did not go too far. Now calls for time. Count is 1-2 to Jeter with Paul O'Neill on deck. 4-0 Angels. They just played at 4 in the bottom of the 4th inning on a bevy of well-hit balls and triple, 2 doubles, 2 singles. Might have had more and not Edmonds lined into a double play right at first baseman Tino Martinez. We're looking at the Finley and how well he pitched. I'm just looking at the scoreboard real quickly, Joe, and of course Gary will keep us updated. It looks like Pedro Martinez in his debut with Boston, shut out in the 9th inning at Oakland.
Well, wouldn't surprise me.
No, welcome to the American League. They left in the 8th, but Boston we're going to shut up. We'll keep you posted with the scores. Right now, Finley kind of hanging himself a little bit here on a 3-2 pitch to Jeter.
Well, he's his own worst enemy. He has 6 strikeouts and 6 bases on balls, so kind of evening things out there.
We'll do it again. And warming up in the Angels bullpen, Shigetoshi Hasagawa, the one-time Oryx Blue Wave. Girardi, Knobloch, your runners, full count. Oh, out of the strike zone, and Jeter dove at it. Same pitch you got him for strike 2, Joe.
Well, that's the same pitch that he's used for 7 strikeouts. Pitch down and out of the strike zone, and you can see holes. You can see him choking this pitch, getting his entire hand and fingers around it. Takes a little bit off of it, and it sinks down and away. Hit her way out in front. But he set him up well by throwing him 2 fastballs in a row on 3-2 counts. Made him look for the fastball, and then he took something off.
Paul O'Neill looks at strike 1. O'Neill walked and singled. Pretty good clutch hitting last year by O'Neill. Well, he is impressed every year as a Yankee. Every year. As he came over from the Reds, where he played on a world championship team under Lou Piniella, 1990. Ground ball. Dave Hollins will tag out Joe Girardi. So Finley wriggles free, and the Angels still lead it 4-0.
How do you separate knowledge from noise? Call Invesco. 38 no-load funds, 65 years experience, a global perspective. You should know what Invesco knows.
Most people tell you, oh, Rolling Rock's got the long neck so your hand doesn't get the beer all warm when you're holding it. The truth is, it's a survival of the fittest thing, natural selection. Think about it. hot day, beer's in a cooler, ice is melting, water level rising. You got a longer neck, you don't drown. Basic evolution. I'm thinking of like writing a pamphlet.
What's the #1 ranked minivan by car and driver? Montana from Pontiac. It's the rugged minivan that can really get along.
That ball's around here somewhere.
Life is more exciting in Montana by Pontiac.
Athlete's foot. It's a predator made up of many types of fungus that eat your feet alive. But there's a potent weapon that doesn't just cure some, it kills them all. Lotrimin AF, the killer cure. Lotrimin AF, the brand doctors recommend most. Full prescription strength medicine. Lotrimin AF is so powerful, it doesn't just kill some causes, it kills them all. Lotrimin AF, the killer cure.
So where are we? The stick? 4-0 Angels in the bottom of the 5th inning, and unusual to bring your blankets here in Southern California, the quilts and the sweatshirts, and fans of all ages and garb of all ages. Deep in the closets they went tonight. Not to be confused with closet cases, which is another discussion. Now Finley wriggled free, and now it's important for Andy Pettit, Joe, to make sure that the Yankees stay within hailing distance. Chris Berman, Joe Morgan here at opening night in Anaheim. Been a success so far. New ballpark. They delayed it for rain. The Angels have a 4-0 lead, although the fans are kind of numb a little bit, aren't they? You would think that they fired up. Now, official title is Edison International Field. And it's fun doing 2 openers, 2 nights. It's a treat. We hope that you've enjoyed our 5 games and 2-day performance presentation here on ESPN. Look at the Knothole Club, or one of that. That may get the title wrong, but they're all sorts of areas. The E. It's done by HOK folks. People that brought you Camden Yards and Jake. So many of those new stadiums that are so fan friendly. You ever think you see ballparks like this when you were playing? You could say, well, the build. You know, when you were playing in your heyday, Cincinnati was new, Joe, and Pittsburgh and Philly. I would say there's been a little change since they made those cookie cutter parks.
Well, they were all very similar, but in those days they were used both for football and baseball. And now you're having parks built for baseball only, which is the way it should be. And therefore the fans are going to be closer to the action. But it's also, you know, making smaller ballparks also improves the action on the field. See a few more home runs, see a few more balls hit off the wall, and most of them all have little quirks where the ball will bounce a little differently than normal off the walls in the outfield.
Three and 2 to Dave Hollins.
There you see one of the outfield wall, that's right field. And the ball, you see the curvature there down the line. The ball will roll around there a little bit, which is a little different than the old type ballparks.
Hollins draws a base on balls. We draw it over to Gary.
Chris, we'll give you a look at what Pedro Martinez looked like in his debut for the Red Sox. He looked like $75 million. Flash Gordon got the save for him. The only runs of the game were on sacrifice flies. Martinez strikes out 11 in 7 shutout innings.
Yowza.
Well, that was interesting that they had Gordon finish it up. They have Dennis Eckersley over there. And I guess that tells you who's going to be the closer, I guess.
I think they're going back and forth. I think that's the plan of Jimmy Williams. I think he's, you know, Gordon is certainly the closer in the future as we look at Tim Salmon with Hollins aboard. Dave, by the way, has been aboard all 3 times. A single, a hit by pitch, and a walk. Salmon has walked and grounded out to third. I think, Joe, they're going to go back and forth. Gordon can learn a lot from Dennis Eckersley, and at times Eck will work 8 and Gordon 9, and then other times they'll have Eck close it down. That could be a problem if it doesn't go well. But if it goes well and they win and they're back and forth, and probably Dennis's last year, Gordon can learn a lot, and maybe they can both prosper. Eckersley pitched the 8th tonight, and Gordon did pitch the 9th one for him. Dave Hollins, one-time Philly, the lead.
There's the Andy Pettitte move, and he got him. He has a great move to first base, and he picks Hollins off.
Does he vary that at all? Because, I mean, in 3 years, Joe, he's led either the majors or the American League in pickoffs. Does he have a couple of different moves?
Well, you see here he doesn't balk. He does not balk on that one because his foot didn't go behind the rubber, and he actually stepped toward first base a little bit. He just gave him a little hip and shoulder action.
Swinging bunt by Salmon that Pettitte handles. So a couple of 1-3 putouts here in this inning makes the bases clear for Cecil Fielder. You saw 14 pickoffs last year, 11 the year before, 12 the year before. So 37 pickoffs, now 38 in 3 seasons plus 1 game.
Well, first of all, the pickoff here is very important because if he wouldn't have picked him off and Salmon chops the ball in front of the plate like that, there would be a runner at second base now and 1 out instead of 2 down and no 1 on. So that pickoff becomes very timely on occasion, and in this case it was great for him.
Cecil Fielder walked and singled against his old mates tonight.
Well, they changed their pattern a little bit with Cecil this time at bat. They were staying in, and now you see Girardi moving around a little bit more.
Is Cecil the key player this year for this team? I can say the, but one of the is ripped to left field. The Cecil Fielder has impressed against his ex-mates. 2 singles and a walk.
I think one of the things that was always a fallacy about Cecil is that he was just a big slugger with a free-swinging attitude up there. Cecil has learned to hit, and he's been better the last couple of years. There's a fastball. Again, he doesn't get it in. He's trying to go inside. He gets that pitch out over the plate, and he may be lucky that he got it back. But we saw Cecil Fielder 2 years ago and last year taking the ball to right field in situations where a single would do the job, and he'd drive in a run by going the other way. So he knows a lot about hitting, and he's always been pretty quick inside.
Garrett Anderson 0 for 2 on the inside corner for a strike.
You see the .303 average last year for Anderson, but the impressive thing was his runs batted in. He drove in 92 runs. He had hit for a high average in the past, but he had never been a real big run producer, an RBI man, and last year he drove in 92 runs.
Inside out swing, pretty much the straightaway left field. Chad Curtis is there. Cecil is stranded. And Pettitte has retired the Angels. We have played 5 in Anaheim, 4-0.
Time is skating by. Feel the pressure mount. Make the moment count. Score with more NHL Center Ice as the coolest game on Earth's stretch run accelerates into overdrive. Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS and get the rest of the regular season plus next year for the special low price of just $119 or 4 interest-free monthly payments of $29.75. Don't miss this limited time offer to follow your NHL favorites and Nagano's heroes through the rest of this season plus next year. Hasek, Bure, Gretzky, Solani, Madonna, and many more.
Call right now and you'll receive a free subscription to On, the official magazine of DirecTV Sports. Lord Stanley's Cup is on the line. Be there for all the action through $98.99. Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS and get the best of the NHL at the lowest possible price. Just $119 for the rest of the regular season and all of next year. It's NHL Center Ice on DirecTV Sports.
Hi, I'm Mary Deno, and right now on Channel 267 on Platinum Presents, a sneak preview of some of the groundbreaking movies available on the Independent Film Channel. Watch Hollywood's biggest names tell us why they love working in independent films. And join the celebration as DirecTV takes you to the Independent Spirit Awards. It's a sneak peek into cutting-edge filmmaking. So grab your popcorn and tune to Channel 267 right now for this month's Platinum Presents.
After last year's early elimination, Team USA is back with a vengeance. Andre Agassi leads the U.S. team against Kafelnikov and the Russians in the first round of the Davis Cup. Singles action begins Friday at 1, only on ESPN.
It's been a festive night here on Wednesday Night Baseball in Anaheim. Pre-game festivities. The Angels with 4 runs and 5 hits to support the pitching of Chuck Finley. And just as it's been scripted, at least for the home fans, so far, through 5 innings, Angels lead the Yankees 4-0. Chris Berman along with Joe Morgan here at Henderson International Field. On opening night here in Anaheim. And now the Yankees try to claw their way back in it, or just claw their way at all against Chuck Finley. They begin with Bernie Williams, Tino Martinez, and Chili Davis here in the 6th. Yankees begin on the West. 2 games here in Anaheim. Move up to Oakland for 3 over the weekend. Then go to the Kingdome for 3 Monday through Wednesday before they go to New York on Friday, April the 10th for their home opener against the Oakland A's, an afternoon game. So they begin the year with 8 games on the West Coast. And then the West Coast teams come in. The Yankee bench has been quiet this far. Well, they're going to line up that can do some damage in a hurry, Joe. So everybody's thinking about it. Tuning out. Don't do it. You never know.
4 runs is not a big deficit for a team like the Yankees because the middle of the order has a lot of power, and usually to be able to come back from big deficits, 4 or 5 runs, you have to have some power, and the Yankees have that right in the middle of their order.
Three and 1 the count to Bernie Williams. And Finley got himself in a little bit of trouble last inning with a pair of walks. He didn't want to start again with a. He didn't start with a leadoff walk, and that's certainly not what he's thinking about with a 4-0 lead.
But this is also his 6th inning, and he's thrown a lot of pitches.
Base hit by Williams sharply through the left side. And this is one of the things that we do on our baseball telecast, an in-game box score. So if you're tuning in late, here's how the Yankee lineup is done against Chuck Huckleberry Finley tonight. Bernie is 2nd hit of the night, so he's done the most damage. The Yankees only have the 3 hits, the other by O'Neill. Derek Jeter has struggled thus far tonight, as you can see. And Finley has certainly owned the 5 through 9 spots thus far as he tries to make his way through the lineup for the 3rd time. Up and down the order. Tino Martinez struck him out both times, says Finley. Not this time. Rip past Martin, and it gets stuck in the water, which will enable Williams to scoot over to 3rd base. Now, maybe he doesn't get there on a dry field, Joe, with a ball slicing through to Salmon, who has a good arm. But as it was held up. No question for Bernie.
I was wondering why Martinez was having so many problems with Finley, because Finley's pretty much straight over the top. Not really difficult for a left-hander to pick up, but he was swinging a lot of bad pitches. Finley throws him a strike, and he rips it through the right side for a base hit, and it stops halfway out there, as you mentioned, and Salmon, with a good arm, tosses into second base. So I think the Angels better be very careful here, because if they're in the 6th inning with Finley, and you have all this power in the Yankee lineup, before you can get somebody ready, they can be right back in the game.
Hasagawa up again, throwing in the bullpen. The left-hander in the bullpen is Mike Holtz, 25-year-old from Arlington, Virginia. And the dangerous Chili Davis walked and struck out. First game is a pinstriper, and he skies this one out of play behind the plate.
It's just a little bit out of Chili's comfort area.
As we said, Chili has been an Angel a couple of times. From 88 to 90, 3 years with California. They were then, of course, the California Angels. And then from 93 to 96, another tour of duty. So 7 years here of his 16 years in the majors were with the Angels. That was not even a 59-footer. That was about a 56-footer. Wallback did a good job.
They struck Chili out with an off-speed pitch last time, but Chili Davis has hit 3 home runs off of Finley in the past, so Finley knows he cannot afford to make a mistake, especially in this situation.
Down low, it squirts away from Wallback, but the runners will hold, not try to advance. And Davis may have a pitch with which to work. Chili is back home here not only because of his 7 years with the Angels. He went to high school, grew up in Los Angeles, Dorsey High School. 99th pitch, Joe, from Finley coming up here. So as you mentioned, he's getting up there in the pitch count. Maybe fatigue starts to become a problem. Up the middle, backhanded by Martin. Spin beautifully by Disarcina to convert the double play. Oh, what a nice turn by Gary Disarcina. Williams does score from third. The Yanks get a run out of it. It's 4-1, but what a nice play by the infield of the Angels.
Well, the ball looked like it was going through into center field. Martin makes a fine stop here. Flips to Disarcina. He turns and makes a good throw to first base. Chili Davis not running well. He also has a groin problem right now, but I don't know if he would have been able to beat it out anyway. Nice play there by Martin, and Disarcina turns it over.
The Yanks on the scoreboard for the first time of this season, but in case you're rusty on scoring at home, no RBI for Chili Davis on a double play. Now the base is clear as Chad Curtis is up. Curtis, 29 years of age, Marion, Indiana. Came over from Cleveland last year in the middle of the season for pitcher David Stormy Weathers. He provided a valuable. He's a good outfielder. He's a good guy to have on the team, Joe. He can really plug him in a lot of situations, can't you?
Well, he really played well last year for them. I mean, he was a very valuable player. They had some problems, you know, with some of their outfield, you know, Strawberry and Raines. When they were struggling, he really played well, and he's a good defensive outfielder.
Chopper to third. Hollins on the run. Double clutches. Long stretch by Erstad. And Curtis is gone. Yankees do get on the board, but a key double play with a spin by Disarcina. 4-1 Anaheim.
Guys like me don't get much respect. I mean, I hit big, but there's no D-word commercial. I make huge plays. I'm not even in a cereal box. But man, I could care less.
Triple Play 99. You've never seen baseball like this.
Who needs cereal?
Whoa. EA Sports. It's in the game.
Here's something you should never do with your eyeglasses unless they're made from Flexon. Even after bending and twisting, Flexon frames still look and fit great. Feel free to fall asleep in your glasses. Feel free to squeeze your Flexon frames. Feel free to kid around. Flexon frames. Durable, comfortable, light. Ask for them by name. Flexon by Marchon.
Introducing the latest in a long line of green blurs. The new Ninja CX-9R. The legend continues.
ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball is brought to you by Kawasaki Motorcycles. Call 1-800-661-RIDE for the dealer nearest you. Welcome back to Anaheim. Edison International Field as the Angels lead the Yankees 4-1, bottom of the 6th inning. Here's where the old bullpen used to be for the Angels. And we go from the old bullpen to the new bullpen. There's the Angels. And then on top of that are the Yankees. So I guess the Yankees could kind of drop water balloons on the Angels during that out there, Joe, on a hot day.
It's a much better situation now, at least from a broadcaster's point of view. You can see who's warming up, whereas in the past you couldn't do that.
Scott Brochus with a dive to rob Norberto Martin. So Martin made a nice play in the top of the inning, Joe, and Brochus, you mentioned, hey, he's there for defense, and we saw it right there. Here's their in-game box score for the Anaheim Angels. Cecil Fielder's been on base all 3 times. Matt Wallback with a 2-run triple. The big blow in the 4-run 4th. To Sarcini with a RBI single and Darren Erstad with a RBI single. So it's interesting that vaunted young outfield are the ones with the goose eggs thus far for the hits. Salmon and Edmonds and Anderson.
If you're the Angels, that bodes well for you when your big 3 in the outfield aren't producing, yet you still have 4 runs on the board. Because those are the last 3 guys you worry about hitting. They all have good track records. They're all good hitters.
Yeah, the Yanks. Yeah, they had the wool caps. Off the glove of Jeter. Derek could not handle it, and Matt Wallback, who was impressed tonight, gunning out 2 runners, 2-run triple, and now a base hit. Join us for our Outside the Lines, presented by AT&T, made in Vietnam, the American sneaker controversy. Our man on the spot, Bob Lee, went over to Vietnam to help investigate major athletic footwear companies and their manufacturing practices abroad. Comparison of labor practices in the Far East and the United States. That's tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 West Coast, 1:30 in Hawaii. I should say 2:30 in Hawaii. They haven't changed the clocks yet. Outside the Lines. And the award-winning series Outside the Lines. Gary DeSarcini. That was a tough spin that he made, Joe, in that double play. I mean, that go about 270 on that turn. Up the middle. Knobloch has no chance at it. Wallback will stop at second as Bernie Williams, you know, he's going to have to hit the dryer after the game. Bernie has slogged through more water than most. Hit a dive and then wet.
Ground ball right back up the middle. Pettit couldn't get his glove down in time. He gets out there and it hits the puddles and it stops. I actually thought Wallback had a chance to continue on around to third, but he decides he better stop. The ball just stops dead. Now, by the time that Bernie Williams gets in there, as he wades in.
Oh, they need cleats tonight, Joe. Maybe some water skis. It's tough out there, isn't it? I mean, of course, Walback didn't know if it was going to hit a dry or a wet spot. If he knew it would stop, he probably would have kept going. Darren Erstad, RBI single, his last time up, 1 for 3, the young first baseman. Darren Holmes up again. But Holmes 9-2 with Colorado last year. I mean, that's tough to beat. Angels now with 9 hits, along with their 4 runs. Even Angels on the base paths. Sounds like maybe a new movie. I should ask Mr. Eisner about that. Danny Glover right back in silver screen. Got under it. Crowd will give it a roar, but Paul O'Neill now gets under this fly ball by Erstad. Walback will tag, get into third. So now with 2 outs, the Angels have runners at the corners. Angels on the corner.
There you see Walback tagging up. O'Neill does not try to get him at third base, throws into second base, keep the runner at first. Walback goes over to third.
Jim Edmonds is 0 for 3, although he hit a rope in the 4th inning right at Tino Martinez. And then he doubled up Erstad, so he smoked the ball. The old blue dart. Just haven't had a chance to use the baseball terms for a while. I missed that. Yacker and blue dart and P. Great lingo in this game, isn't there?
Well, in the past, they had a lot of even great nicknames. As you've kind of continued that tradition a little bit.
You know, we asked this question last night about Nagy and Randy Johnson. How long do you keep going with Pettit at this point?
Well, the answer will be the same as the last night. I mean, this is still towards the end of spring training. You can't get a guy in shape in spring training. People say, well, you should come out of spring training in shape. Well, the problem is you can't throw every day to build your arm strength up. So you have to continue that right on into the season. And Joe wants him to get as much work in as possible. He'd love to be ahead.
Long ride. Chad Curtis is there. That ball just held up there as Edmonds gave it a go, but it kind of died going to left field the opposite way. We played 6, 4-1 Anaheim.
The Best Western on Lake Tahoe features a dock with boat rentals. Best Western, across the street from Ordinary.
Help me, please! I'll stop smoking! I'll stop drinking! I'll stop lying!
Too bad Toyota doesn't make parachutes. The new Corolla, grounded in reliability. And the new Corolla has double door seals to lock out those annoying road noises.
For 3 days only, if it's Craftsman, it's on sale. There's over 4,000 Craftsman hand and power tools on sale. Only Craftsman could build a sale like this, because Craftsman makes anything possible.
Demanded better training facilities. Insisted on new uniforms and equipment. Held out for hundreds of free tickets. These guys will stop at nothing to get whatever they can for the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Major League Baseball charities and the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, giving kids a world of opportunities.
Top of the 7th, Angels lead it 4-1. As Chuck Finley has spun a 4-hitter to date. Here's a scene with Pettit and Stottlemyre, Joe.
Well, if I had to guess, it would be that Stottlemyre is saying that that's enough, and Pettit is probably saying, he wanted to go longer. Yeah, that's what it means. He's grabbed his glove. That means he's going upstairs. He wanted to stay in, and they figure he's had enough.
Which would mean Darren Holmes will make his Yankee debut, if that's the scenario, which certainly looks like.
Well, if you're Andy Pettit and you're trailing 4-1, you're not in any hurry to leave. You'd like to go back out there at least one more inning, probably. Give yourself a chance and your teammates a chance to catch up and maybe even go ahead for you.
Brocious, Girardi, and Knobloch. Two hopper to short. Disarcina to Erstad. 1 out in the Yankee 7th. The retired numbers of the Angels, Rod Carew, and to explain the 26th man, Gene Autry. Of course, 42, Jackie Robinson's number, retired on all the teams. Jimmy Reese, one-time roommate of Babe Ruth. I don't think we're heard of this guy. He's an outside shot to make it to Cooperstown real soon. Fly ball to right field, and this is Tim Salmon. But Joe, I know how much that means for you to go up to Cooperstown every summer, as it would for me were I in your shoes. And just think about a year from now where we could have Nolan Ryan, George Brett, Robin Yount, Carlton Fisk. Now, they have not put in, 4 a year like that, but it's kind of hard to deny those guys, isn't it? That'd be quite a year.
Yeah, it would be quite a year, but first-time ballot, they usually try to, most writers, it seems, decide who the top picks are, and that's who they vote for.
They don't vote for 4, huh?
Well, it'd be interesting. You get the vote, for 10.
Yeah, no. Why don't they? I mean, how are you going to deny Nolan Ryan, right? Okay.
Right.
How are you going to deny
Well,
George
I think
Brett?
all the ones you talked about will be in the Hall of Fame. It's just a matter of whether they will all go in together or not.
I've not had the opportunity to go up there that much. I was there in '89 when Bench went in along with Yaz.
Well, it's much better now. I mean, they've continued to improve the Hall of Fame, new exhibits, new everything going. It's just a wonderful place for baseball fans.
Knobloch skies it to Disarcina on the outfield grass. He slogs his way out. And an impressive 1-2-3 inning for Chuck Finley. 7th inning stretch time here in Anaheim, with the home team ahead 4-1.
Maybe mounting that camera inside a baseball wasn't the best way to get a close-up of Larry Walker's batting gloves. Franklin carbon fiber batting gloves, the official batting glove of Major League Baseball.
Moscow, we have a problem.
There have been only 7 Wheaties champions this century. Better make that 8. Introducing Tiger Woods, a new generation of Wheaties champion.
At Plank Road, we don't do everything well. Fortunately, beer is something we do well. Ice House, thanks and enjoy.
fans old and young. Opening night very special. 4-1. The Angels lead it, and I don't know if he's quite old enough to read this yet, but he's close. ESPN, the magazine. Bi-weekly, every couple of weeks. The second edition on the newsstand now. A great baseball issue. Omar Vizquel. Saw Pedro Martinez, of course, Michael Jordan, in an outstanding interview by Rick Tellender. Peter Gammons writing the story about Pedro Martinez.
What did Peter Pasquarelli write about?
I don't know. What did Peter do this? Peter does kind of gold brick from time to time, you know? Well, previews. Well, actually, I know it's, you know, a couple of days of opening days, but the baseball issue, this second issue with Jordan, is a outstanding preview issue. Now, Jimmy Edmonds a little tight, huh?
Well, he seems to have a problem in the shoulder region, maybe in his lower back now. Maybe he's trying to stretch him out.
Terry Collins likes what he has seen thus far, certainly from Finley. Although Chuck has walked more than usual, but can't argue with 1 run on 4 hits through 7 innings, Joe.
Well, he's gotten a lot of work in, which is the most important thing, I think. But remember, Chuck Finley did not have a great spring, so he has pitched pretty well tonight, considering the fact that he had struggled during the spring.
Well, now that it's really spring on the calendar, maybe he's turned it on. Dave Hollins. Single, hit by pitch, and a walk. So a perfect night officially for him, 1 for 1. We've been treated to some great ballpark food here tonight, and not often that you come to the ball. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack and portobello mushroom sandwich. You have to change the lyrics of that song. Michael Toms, the executive chef here, serving us up a variety of opening night fare. Did you have a good sandwich, Joe?
Not me.
Not you. That's right. I forgot. You're eating like air now, right? But still, there's hot dogs there. See, I was worried. Try everything up here but a hot dog. Some things aren't safe. You may get a dog here at Edison. The light bulb is going on in the hot dog stand at Edison Field. Dave Hollins, a rip to Tino Martinez. Tino will beat Hollins to the bag. And the longtime season ticket holder of the Buffalo Bills, since he comes from Orchard Park, New York, Dave Hollins, is retired. There you go. See that? Look, and there it is. A walk through the courtyards. You know what, Joe? It's amazing. There's no one that we could go down there and get served in about 1 batter. Some interesting colors there on that hot dog. Big time relish. I'm going to go with that as a theory. Here's Tim Salmon, who was 0 for 2 in a walk.
In reading the local papers, they're really, in my opinion, putting a lot of pressure on Tim Salmon this year.
Rip to left field. Curtis is over. This will 1-hop over the fence for a ground rule double.
A lot of the local papers are saying that he needs to turn it up a notch, you know, to lead this team to a championship. I mean, he's had some pretty good years. He's had over 30 home runs 4 straight years. I don't know how much more they expect from him, but it seems like they're putting a little pressure on him to perform a little bit more and maybe put this team on their back, and carry him a little bit. So I don't know. Tim Salmon usually gets off to a slow start, but he's gotten his first hit tonight, so maybe some of that spring training, extra playing in spring training will pay off for him, and he will get off to a great start this year.
Here's a guy who's gotten off to an excellent start as an Angel. Cecil Fielder fouls it back. He's walked, singled and scored, and singled. One of my favorite memories of Cecil, and we joked about it in the clubhouse beforehand, when he was an all-star, I think 92, when the game was in Toronto, where, remember, he first came in before going to Japan, where he became a hitter. The American League was taking infield practice on, I think, Monday. I don't think it was day of game. I think it was Monday, workout day. As Darren Holmes, his pitch is outside for ball. And Cecil was at short. Ricky Henderson was at second, taking infield. They were practicing turning the double play. I got to tell you, Cecil handled short okay. Cecil to Ricky over to first, and I forget who was there. We were loud. He said, "Oh yeah, that was so much fun." Darren Holmes in his first action as a New York Yankee behind a Cecil 2-1. He's always the most well-liked, one of the most well-liked players wherever he goes.
Well, Cecil's one of those quiet giants, you know, gentle giant type of people. Always has a smile on his face.
Cecil to right field, but this is not a night when the ball is carrying. O'Neill is there. Salmon to third. Strong throw by O'Neill. Safe. Well, that was a good toss, and Salmon just beat it.
Well, Cecil had a pitch to hit. It looked like a breaking ball there, and he tried to hit it to right center field, ended up hitting a fly ball. And O'Neill's throw is right on target, but not quite in time.
So Salmon 90 feet away with 2 outs and Garrett Anderson up. And I also read what you did about the Tim Salmon, and I read that the phrase "turn it up a notch." I think that is becoming the most overused sports phrase, Joe, don't you think?
Well,
turn it up a notch.
Especially in this case.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what they want him to do. I mean, he's, you know, put up the numbers. I mean, he's been a fine player. I mean, and I just hate to see you put pressure on a young player to do more than he's capable of doing, so to speak. So that he goes out and presses, tries to hit more than 30 home runs, tries to do more than he's capable of doing. I think you just let things fall as they come, because he's a good player. He's becoming a smart hitter. And when I talk to Rod Carew, he's very pleased with his progress. And just let the numbers fall as they've come. You know, I mean, I don't think you can say, well, he needs to hit more than 30 home runs, he needs to drive in more than 110 runs, these sort of things. Just puts a little bit too much pressure on the young players.
Girardi with a good block, keeping Salmon at third base.
Girardi's done a good job the entire game, you know, in blocking pitches with runners at third. When Pettit was in, he threw a couple low in the dirt. But we've always known that Girardi was a good catcher, and he always handles his pitching staff pretty well.
That ball is the hardest one thrown by Holmes tonight.
Well, he throws so many breaking balls that when he does turn the fastball loose, it does its job. Normally, if that pitch would have been over the plate, he probably would have been able to get him out. He's trying to hit the inside corner.
Not blocked. Martinez. Garrett Anderson is out. So Holmes does his job, stranding Salmon at third. The Yankees have a couple of innings to do something about this 4-1 deficit with the heart of the order coming up.
This month, you'll find all the action you can handle on DirecTV. It's high-flying thrills. With Harrison Ford.
I'm not leaving without my family.
And Gary Oldman in Air Force One. Al Pacino.
We're coming out! Guns blazing!
Is turning up the heat on Keanu Reeves.
You set me up!
In The Devil's Advocate. There's no quit in this soldier.
I'm gonna go through with this.
G.I. Jane, Anthony Hopkins.
You want to die?
And Alec Baldwin.
You make me sick!
Are about to go over.
Come and get me!
The Edge. He's on the run.
I didn't kill anybody, okay?
And out of time.
This man dies tonight, gentlemen!
Keenan Ivory Wayans and John Voight Starr in Most Wanted. A man with nothing to lose. A reporter with everything to gain.
I don't want to cross the line, Lou. I just want to move it a little.
A situation out of control. Dustin Hoffman, John Travolta, Mad City. DirecTV means action all month long.
The biggest night in sports entertainment. The baddest man on the planet. The two greatest attractions in pay-per-view history collide in one colossal event as Iron Mike returns to the ring. WrestleMania. Tyson. Coming soon to a TV near you.
Mental intimidation, environmental health hazards. Is that what it takes to make our favorite athletic shoes? Outside the Lines travels to Southeast Asia to find out. Made in Vietnam, the American sneaker controversy. Outside the Lines, tomorrow at 7:30 on ESPN.
Drama in the Kingdom. The Indians, Alvin Mormon on to pitch to Ken Griffey with 2 aboard in a 7-5 game. He goes after him, and the yacker gets him frozen. Griffey strands 2 batters against Mormon. As he got him. And then in the 8th, facing Paul Osenmacher with 2 aboard in a 7-6 game, popped him up. They've gone to the 9th. Cleveland clutching a 7-6 lead.
All right, Gary, thank you. You know what the problem is? Junior hits homers when we're there. We're not there. But in an interesting, that was a 7-1 game, and now it's almost the reverse role from last night when the Mariners led 9-3 and Cleveland won at 10, and it was 7-1 Cleveland. Now it's 7-6. So Gary will keep you posted. Late night for Gary back in the East. Thanks for hanging with us, big guy. Mike Holtz. We got Holmes for the Yankees and Holtz now for the Angels. So that'll be it for Chuck Finley. 1 run on 4 hits through the 7 innings. And here's young Holtz.
Well, they're happy with the job Finley did, so they're going to try to leave it up to the bullpen to try to finish it off. I'm sure if Holtz can get through this inning, you might see Percival just to get him some work in the 9th.
Holtz is a 25-year-old, 3rd year, as he works with Derek Jeter. Gets in there for a strike. Cutter. 5'9", Arlington, Virginia. Pitches college ball at Clemson. Last year was 3-4 with a 3.32. The year before, Joe, was at 2.45 ERA. So he's some of the Marcel Latchman told me about it. He says, I think my middle guys are going to be a bit of a surprise this year. And this is his 3rd season, so maybe Marcel has seen the guys like Holtz and Mike James really come into their own, a little bit of setup for Percival. That'll be one of the keys. Nice play by Hollins. Does take a while to fire it across. Does it to Erstad, and Jeter is gone. Our Sherwin-Williams pitching summary, thanks to Sherwin-Williams paint and wallpaper stores. Finley with the 7 innings pitch. He, of course, stands to win, cannot lose it. Pettit cannot win it. He can only lose it. And Pettit really got touched hard with the 4 runs and the 5 hits in that 4th inning. And the ball was hit hard that inning, Joe. And as you said, the Angels figured him out, didn't they?
Well, that's one of the reasons that he was not happy about coming out. He only had 85 pitches, but you're right. They really hit him hard in the 1 inning, and he probably felt like he pitched pretty well other than that. And he had thrown 85 pitches, and he probably felt like he could at least throw 100 or so.
Here's Gino Monahan, the veteran trainer of the Yankees, in front of Joe Torre.
One of the things Holtz was able to do last year was retire left-handed hitters. They hit a combined 198 against him.
Paul O'Neill 1 for 2 and a walk. Good action across the plate there by Holtz's cutter. Ahead of O'Neill 1 and 2. Everybody with that little goatee these days. Looks like Holt's either just starting or he's so young that it's going to take a while to grow in. So I'm not asking you for a prediction at all, but as you size up Yankees and Baltimore, who do you think has the going into the season as the upper hand? Could you make a call between them? Who should be favored? And I don't want to put you on the spot. Little chopper that Holland short hops over to Erstad. Another 5-3, 2 outs. I mean, that should be a great race. As the two teams have been either the division leader and the wild card team. They flip-flopped last year with the Orioles winning the division.
Well, you have to look at the two teams. The Orioles are pretty much a veteran team, but they lost Randy Myers, who was their closer. And the question now is going to be, can Benitez take over that role, or Charlton, whomever they put in there? Are they going to be able to, do as good a job as Randy Myers did? So that's the doubt there. I don't think anyone's going to do as good a job as Randy did. So being honest with you, I would probably choose the Yankees as the favorite, with Baltimore obviously very close second. Either one of them can win. It's going to depend on which team stays the healthiest over the course of the season. You have to like this Yankees lineup offensively. Their lineup has to be, favored. I think their lineup's going to be a little stronger than Baltimore. Baltimore has a good pitching staff led by Messina, and it's going to depend on Cone and Rabu.
Hollins can't get that one as Bernie Williams is aboard for Bernie. 3 for 4 tonight.
But I mean, it's going to be a good race and should be a fun race.
You know who will make it very interesting is if Anaheim, let's say Seattle is the favorite in the American League West, which they certainly are.
Yes.
If Anaheim and or Texas steps up, see, last year was a good race between Baltimore and New York, but they both were going to make the playoffs. I mean, it didn't matter. They both won, way over 90 games. Now, if they fall down a little, there might be a race. There might be a little more premium on winning the division if an Anaheim or a Texas, if a second team out west becomes a wild card contender. I'm not saying that they would win 95 games, but otherwise the race is just it doesn't mean that much, unfortunately, although they have changed the opening round of the playoffs in which the team with the better record, the wild card team, will get what, only one home game in that best of 5 opener? I believe that's how it works. Well, they put a little more premium on winning the division or having a better record. Not much.
Well, it puts a premium on winning because, you get to host the games. But I've never been one to think that the games were not important and it wasn't important to win. Because the players do not go out there thinking, well, if I don't win today, I can be a wild card. They go out there to win every day. And I think they play the game to win a championship. Play the game to be a wild card. But I'm a fan of the wild card simply because I think it gets the 2 best teams in the league into the playoffs. And that's, to me, is what's important, getting the best teams into the playoffs.
No pepper, no pepper.
2-1 pitch to Chino. Case in point about the wild card. In 95, when Seattle trailed the Angels by, 13.5, they all told us that they were aiming at the wild card spot. They had pretty much not given up, but 13 games, it's August, I don't think so. But they were 6 out in the wild card race. Here goes Wallback again. Well, ball 4. So Bernie Williams to second base, Tino Martinez with a walk, and what that does is bring up Chili Davis in a game that you think, the Angels have their hands on here at 4-1, but Chili is the potential tying run. Just to finish the point, Seattle ended up catching California, but they weren't aiming at them until they got within about 7 games. So, oddly enough, the wild card kept them playing good ball. They ended up being division champs.
Well, see, I can't ever agree with people, that's always going to be a disagreement with me because I was a player. And I know that the players they go out to play hard every day. They go out to win every game, and they're trying to win a championship. They may say that, well, I'm shooting for the wild card, but I think you're always trying to catch the team that's in front of you until you're mathematically eliminated.
You should be.
You always think that you have a chance.
Here is Chili Davis. He fouls it back off the paraphernalia, if you will. Williams at second. Tino Martinez at first. And what a time for Chile, if he could, to deliver his first home run or even an extra base hit as a member of the New York Yankees.
Well, he was robbed on the last time up in this situation. He had a runner at first and third with no one out. And Alberto Martin made a great play at second base, and he and DiSarcina turned the double play. Chile hit the ball hard.
Got under this one, though. DiSarcina will go to the outfield grass, and the Yankees have stranded a pair and have blown an opportunity to get back in it. We head to the bottom of the 8th. The Angels lead at 4-1.
Hey, how much money you make working here?
I make enough.
Use what God gave you.
Where y'all dancing? The Players Club.
From the producers of Friday.
We got Luke in the house. Luke and the two little crew.
Wasn't no shame in them walking around bucket naked.
Starting to smell like aqua boogie.
Anybody ever told you look just like the father from Good Times?
The Players Club. Rated R. Starts Wednesday, April 8th.
Hey, pull me back. Ooh, that feels pretty good. What's this stuff? I'm not going there. No way. Forget about it. Hey, come on. I got an image to uphold here.
Only your Sherwin-Williams store has super paint. It's guaranteed for 20 years against peeling, blistering, and fading.
Oh, yeah. Now that's the good stuff, baby.
When only the best will do. Ask Sherwin-Williams.
Hey, good look. You want to go for a little spin?
Guys like me don't get much respect. I mean, I hit big, but there's no Dior commercial. I make huge plays. I'm not even in a cereal box. But man, I could care less.
Triple Play 99. You've never seen baseball like this.
Who needs cereal?
Whoa.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball is brought to you by Triple Play 99 from EA Sports. You've never seen baseball like this. Now a view at refurbished Edison International Field, the one-time Big A, which of course was an open, the outfield was open once upon a time until they closed it for the football when the Rams came down here. There's a look at the natural waterfall, as Michael Eisner described it, and the natural rain that's fallen on the outfield, you can see. A lot of the fans have gone home. It's a school night. They're here a little bit longer than they expected with the rain delay and then the festivities ending up putting the first pitch back almost an hour. Roberto Martin, Matt Wahlbeck, Gary DiSarcina. Well, Joe, as you point out, I mean, when the bottom of the lineup goes 5 for 9 with 3 extra base hits and 3 runs scored, you know, things are looking up. Right at Paul O'Neill, and Alberto Martin will be retired. Well, the new stadium, this is not today, but way back when. There's the cowboy, Gene Autry, riding the bike. 1966, as the Angels came down to the orange groves here of Orange County. Groundbreaking ceremonies. And the Big A was begat, if you will, with that classic Big A scoreboard. Saw Gene Autry here, 90 years young. Part of the pregame festivities. You know, if that's 66, Joe, that's only... Oh, so he was what? 90. Sorry, he's like 58 years old when he's riding the bike. That looked pretty good.
You'll still be riding the bike when you're 58.
I hope so. I will be back in the saddle again. Now block to Martinez, and Matt Wahlbeck is out. So that'll bring up Gary DiSarcina. Get your opinion on the Central we discussed yesterday in the American League with Cleveland. Really, I don't want to say a free pass, but if they don't win it, it'll be a major shock.
I still think the Chicago White Sox are going to be a better team than people realize.
Detroit, I'm interested to see how they continue to improve. Buddy Bell doing a great job there last year. And, of course, they now moved divisions. In the East, in the Yankees and the Orioles division, don't you think that Boston will be improved on last year? Certainly we saw one reason why tonight with Pedro Martinez, and maybe Toronto, if they get any hitting, that at least can be maybe above 500 clubs.
Well, I think Toronto has a real good chance because they have one of the best pitching staffs in baseball when all their pitchers are healthy. They are going to need to figure a way to score some runs. They didn't score any last year.
Sharply hit by DeSarcini, and he has 3 hits tonight. And a great twirl on a double play. Stay with us because SportsCenter's coming up after the game. And Rich Eisen, Kenny Mayne will show you Pedro Martinez's debut, and impressive it was as the Red Sox combined on a shutout in Oakland. NBA action. Pucks, Colorado and Detroit. Yes, SportsCenter is indeed next. Doesn't get much better in the NHL these days than the Avalanche and the Red Wings. So we'll have a report on that. Darren Holmes will be out. And we'll be back.
Now's the time to roll into Sears during our spring tire and wheel sale, because you can save $20 to $60 on a set of 4 select Michelin, Bridgestone, Trailhandler, or Viper tires. Plus, save an extra 10% off sale prices on all Z Racing custom wheels when you buy tires too. This sale ends soon, and the clock is ticking. So get in, get tires, and get rolling. Sears Auto Center.
3 hours from now, this place will be filled with 18,000 screaming fans. And if I can take these Coors Lights, deliver them in all their frost-brewed glory, it is my name they're going to be cheering.
Dear man. Excuse me.
Two hours and 59 minutes from now.
Well, there was one year where I almost lost the entire backyard to crabgrass, and I vowed that would never happen again. The following year, I did use Turf Builder plus Halts. It not only got rid of the crabgrass, but it also greened up the lawn and thickened it. I used the cheaper brands, but I didn't have the color that I wanted, and I did have the weeds. Look how thick it is. Look at the color of it. There are no weeds. I take the credit instead of Scott's. I call it Luby Lawn. I'm very proud of the results that I get from Scott's. And there will be no crabgrass.
Who always greets you warmly and asks a little in return? The folks at Red Roof Inns. A genuine smile, a clean, comfortable room, and a great rate. Dogs have no concept of money, no pockets. Red Roof Inns, nice people, and an honest value.
Welcome back to Anaheim. The dulcet tones of the Four Tops. Who was better than the Four Tops? And 4 runs for the Angels. They lead the Yankees 4-1. Levi Stubbs Jr. and the boys. They were great. I could see them 20 times. Hey, Sunday Night Baseball. Joe and John. The Giants. Brian Johnson. Was it destiny? Will it continue this year for the Surprise NL West champs? Former mate Matt Williams, Andy Bennis, and the Arizona Diamondbacks. You get your first look at the Bob at Sunday night at 8 o'clock following our baseball tonight. I'll be in the studio with Peter Gammons at 7:20 Eastern time, and again, you're going to give me that report in triplicate, right?
All right. Well, when you're on the studio, you're in the studio.
Well, I'll be before the game,
oh, okay.
So we'll talk though.
All right.
You and I talk now. You know?
All right.
Moonlight Graham Lloyd. He cut his hair. I like that. Somebody suggested. A fan sent that in from Field of Dreams. Moonlight Graham was one of the players in the Field of Dreams there with shoeless Joe Jackson. Anyway, Graham Lloyd inherits DeSarcini at first, and he will pitch to Darren Erstad.
So you asked me a question. Who do you believe should be the favorite, the Yankees or the Orioles?
I lean to the Yanks. Although, you know, some people, Steinbrenner even came out at one point. I hope he was jesting. Can we win 162 games? Well, that's just what Joe needs, right?
Yeah, well.
I don't think so.
3 outs from now.
We'll know the answer.
Yeah. they'll still have a chance, or they will not.
That's a tough.
Decide something.
You were right in pointing it out. Rivera stepped in for Wetland last year. Can Benitez, as you point out, step in for March? Which, you know, they have a lot of answers out there. Rhodes and Mills, and you get a lot of guys that throw gas. Orozco's still effective, although not as a full closer, but as the lefty. Robbie Alomar hurting a little last year. That's a tough call. I think the Yankees, I lean to them, but maybe because of what we've heard about Orlando Hernandez, El Duque, who they've signed, and you know, if he can come through and make a half-season contribution. Hit to right field. Back goes O'Neill. Back. Oh, but you only get one back. You need 3 backs for a home run. You got only 1. Erstad is gone. So are the Angels. Last shot for the Yankees. Can they win all 162? They better get going.
When it comes to renting a car, there's really only one place to go. National Car Rental, the official car rental company of ESPN. So what are you waiting for? Let's go.
At Century 21, we realize what buying a house really means. As part of the world's #1 real estate sales organization, Century 21 offices have more people, resources, and power to help you find the home of your dreams. That's the power of #1, Century 21.
I have a lot of fun playing characters that are impulsive and dramatic, because the real me is pretty basic. I'm even a little practical. Like a while back, I noticed I had some flakes. So naturally, I started using Head & Shoulders. Of course, it helps keep the flakes away. And if it leaves my hair looking like this, why mess with a good thing?
Head & Shoulders changes dandruff problems
into beautiful hair.
Hey, how's it going? Can't complain.
It's the rugged SUV with a smooth ride.
Hank, can I borrow your eyebrow pencil?
The Montero Sport, one of the sport utility vehicles from Mitsubishi. Now financing as low as 2.9% APR is available on any new 98 Mitsubishi.
Back in Anaheim, the top of the 9th, and the flame-throwing closer for these Angels, Troy Percival, is in, and Joe, he can bring it with about as much heat as anybody in the majors today.
Well, he had an off year last year. He's had a sore arm for the last couple of years, but when he's healthy, I mean, he can get it up there. He had 72 strikeouts in 52 innings.
Yowza. It's up to the percentages. Remember the year of the Nasty Boys, Dibble and Myers and Charlton, Dibble especially. It's up to that sort of ratio. Now they will face the bottom of the order. Chad Curtis, Scott Brocious, and Joe Girardi. Who does Joe look for on the bench at this point, or he needs runners, really?
Well, it doesn't look like he's going to do anything. I see.
Right.
Brocious out on deck. Chad Curtis, right-handed hitter, is still going to hit.
I mean, if he gets a couple on, we might see Strawberry for a long ball, perhaps, right? Fastball high. Percival in 96, Joe, to continue what we were talking about. 100 strikeouts in 74 innings. So if you're looking for Jamie Moyer, you're looking for the wrong guy right now. Chad Curtis is 0 for 2 in a walk. Now, with someone throwing that fast, and here's Brocious on deck. I know it's a 3-run game, and there's nobody aboard. If someone was throwing not as fast as Percival, might Hollins be more to the line or not?
Well, no, not in this situation, because it's a 3-run lead.
That's what
you just play straight up. You don't want anyone to get on base. You're not really protecting against the extra base hit.
Now, the point is it's just hard to get around on a pitch like this.
Yeah, no doubt. You'd have to be, you probably find Erstad closer to the line than you would Hollins.
What was the 2-2 pitch to Curtis? Wow. Curtis goes down on a 95-mile-an-hour nasty pitch.
Well, the location is what makes it tough. Look at this pitch, down and away, 95 mile an hour. That is almost impossible to hit.
Well, they fire up Smoke on the Water, Deep Purple. Sports Center coming up next with Kenny and Rich. Sorry to hold you guys up tonight, but we were busy. Who was the hardest thrower, or who come to mind? Obviously, as a starter, I would imagine Bob Gibson, but relievers, it was a little different than at least earlier on in your career, right? I mean, they didn't have that many that everybody had a flamethrower. Who stands out in your mind as just pure heat?
That's a good question. Had a Gary Gentry in New York threw pretty hard. Well, as a late inning guy, they didn't have just a guy, a stopper that came in just to pitch the 9th inning. You know, and if you look at Raleigh Fingers, he pitched 2 innings to get a save.
Well, a lot of the guys who just gassed it, and this looks like plenty of room for Erstad, even in fair territory. You know, Goose was really over in the American League.
Right. I faced him when he came to Pittsburgh, and he threw awfully hard. But the thing that impressed me about Goose wasn't the speed, but his location. He could always seem to get the ball low and away to right-handed hitters and low and away to left-handed hitters.
Well, the Yankees, down to their last out, have inserted Tim Raines to pinch hit for Joe Girardi. And the baseball's good guys. 321 last year for Joe Torre. One thing about Timmy Raines is in the modern era, only Ricky Henderson, Lou Brock, Ty Cobb, and not that Ty Cobb was modern, but in this century have more stolen bases. But stolen bases isn't what they need. They need a hit. They didn't get it. 1-2-3 ninth for Troy Percival, and opening night at Edison Field is a success for the Angels, who hung a 4 spot on Andy Pettitte in the 4th inning and have beaten the Yankees by the count of 4-1. Well, it's been a night of festivities certainly here as Barry Collins and company, and fireworks late, fireworks early. Rain held us up, but great pregame festivities with a light show, and the kids contributed. I think the fans had a good time. Hope you did too at home. For Joe Morgan and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Chris Berman. Thanks for watching. The Angels win a 4-1. It's been a presentation of ESPN, worldwide leader in sports. Here comes SportsCenter.